Okay, we're recording.
Okay. All right, we are doing our scenario number one. Marty Gubler is the helper and Jen Sharp is the helpee. So Jen, what brings you in today?
So I have a brother who's 6 years older than me, and he has been an addict since he was 15. And he's never held a job longer than 9 months, and he just, has different times. And he has, he's really cut off a lot of contact with the family. And occasionally, maybe once a year or something, he'll give us a little update. But he moved to Oregon about 6 months ago, and he hasn't given us an update in 6 months. And I just keep finding him on my mind, and I just wonder what I can do to, connect with him, because he doesn't return texts or phone calls. So I guess I just miss him and want him to know that I love him.
Yeah, so it sounds like he's not necessarily a contributing member of society at sometimes, and it's hard because as a sister, you're worried about him and you want to make sure he's okay, and you want to make sure that he knows that you're there and that you support him.
Yeah, exactly. And I think about him all the time, but I don't know if he knows that or feels that.
Yeah. So you want to be able to show him the love that you have for him, and somehow connect with him. You're just not getting that connection with him because he's not very good at reaching out to you, and maybe just not feeling that connection's there.
Yeah, and no reciprocation.
Yeah.
And I've even sent him things in the past, and he doesn't acknowledge that I sent him anything. And I've tried different ways, and anyway,
that's hard, and sometimes feels hurtful that there's not that connection back.
Yeah, and I don't even know if I care as much about like the hurt on my part. I just know that he struggles and is hurting, and I don't know how to be there for him.
Yeah. I'm sorry, that's super hard. I don't know. Do I go into more, or is that okay? I know exactly where you're at. I have a brother who's the exact same way, and we hear from him, we don't hear from him. So I'm listening going, oh, I know this scenario. So, that's hard. Okay. Cheryl, do you have observations?
Sure. Well, the first observation that I would make, and this is for all of us, is I think we need to stop the it clearly, like, end the two-way discussion, and not add our personal stuff afterwards. Maybe save that to when we stop recording to talk about it, because I think it colors the tone of what you said or what we have said previously as the therapist. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's all of us. We're all doing it, and probably should all stop. I liked your choice of words. I liked when you said "sounds like," and I liked when you said "show." I think those were good lead-in words to what you were talking about. You used great words: hard, worried, support, you're there, love, connect. I think those were all very appropriate words for what the situation was, to help bring out some of the feelings and stuff like that. Things that I would say you might want to switch up how you did it was you tended to talk from the perspective of your brother. Like almost your brother is causing these emotions type thing, rather than talking to her directly about what her emotions are because of the situation.
Okay.
That'd be, and I thought it was really great. You said something about you expressed that she must feel hurt. It must be very hurtful what's happening. And Jennifer, you came right back and you disagreed with her, and expressed back that no, that isn't the emotion I'm actually feeling. And so that means you guys are having a really good back and forth conversation where you were able to, you know, Marty, you were able to express a thought of what you thought she was feeling, and she agreed with you on a lot of emotions that you came up with. And when she found one that you said that she didn't agree with, she was able to say to you, no, I don't really feel like that, and you were still able to go with that flow and keep up with the two-way back and forth.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, and I felt, and I hope that you felt this too, Marty, but I didn't feel like it was bad that you said that. I still felt like you were totally connected, and you played that really well. Like, you weren't like, oh, I got the wrong thing. You were like, oh, and you were just really trying to understand, and then you moved on. And I thought it was very seamless because, you're not always going to understand where the person's coming from exactly. And some people might feel that way or whatever, might be like, woe is me, or you know what I mean, whatever. And like, I've been that before in the past, but right now I'm to the point where, I've done a lot of things, I've tried a lot of things, and right now I just want him to know or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I thought it was great. I like
think that was clarifying for me, because I'm like, oh, because I don't remember. I'd have to go back and watch it, but there was one thing that you said, and I thought, oh, I wonder if maybe there's some hurt there. And I said that. I was like, no, that's not. And I'm like, okay, no, we're focused more on, she wants her brother to feel her love and support, and she's trying to figure out how to do that. And so yeah, I didn't feel, it was good. It was good to sometimes go down a wrong road and go, nope, that's not the road. I'm going to go back to this road. So
yeah, exactly. I thought that was done so well between the two of you.
Okay, great.
Okay, scenario 2. So Marty is the helpee, Cheryl is the helper, and I'm the observer.
Okay, so after this, am I going to repeat this again? I'm the helper, Marty's the helpee, and Jen, you're the observer. Let's get started, ladies.
Okay, well, I'm trying to figure out right now. I do have to give a teeny bit of a backstory. Last Christmas, my kids and I decided that instead of getting presents, we as a family wanted to do experiences, because nobody remembers what they get when they're 9 years old, but you do remember a trip you took or something with your family. And so since last year, my husband and I decided we were going to take our kids to Disneyland, but we were going to do it right. And so we've been saving money since the week after last Christmas, and we are just trying to do it full stop. And our kids it's probably the last time our kids will come with us, where we didn't have young kids and we don't have older kids, and we can just go and do and be free. And so we're super excited. My sister, however, she has decided to come with us, which is super great. We're really excited that they're coming. But we're starting to do things this week, like pre-buy our Disneyland swag and our sweatshirts, our matching shirts, and that kind of stuff. And she has a lot more opinions than I do. And so I'm starting to get to the point where I'm thinking that maybe we're going to go, and this trip that I've had in my head that is going to go and be my family, now I'm going to have actual worry, because I'm worried about what she wants and worried about what she, she's just a little bit more uptight than I am. And so just trying to navigate this.
So, yeah, what I hear when you're talking about the swag is that, frustration is starting to come in to this situation. What you looked forward to and really were so excited about with you as your family, the dynamics have now changed in that.
Yeah.
And instead of feeling all this excitement, you're now starting to feel anxious and really frustrated. And if I got it right, I think I pushed aside a bit, like all of a sudden you're not as in control of this as you were, or able to guide your family in how you want this to happen.
Yeah, maybe. I'm probably more, I wanted it to be kind of a que sera. We go and whatever it is. And for my sister, she's very scheduled, and, I don't mind a schedule here and there, but she's just a lot more picky, so I'm kind of worried that I'm going to get there and she is going to say, we're going to go here, here, and here. And I want to be like, oh, well, my family and I want to go here. And I want to just be able to have the freedom to go do what we want to do without hurting her feelings.
So your version of a family vacation is more laid back than hers.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. So you're not looking for such a controlled situation, because that doesn't really feel like vacation to you.
Right. Well, and I just don't want to, have to worry about her feelings. So I'm trying to just figure out how I tell her ahead of time that I need to let her know, hey, we might go off on our own for a little bit, and you need to not be upset with me about that. I don't want to have friction on my vacation.
Which means that in maybe a similar situation previously, or in your own dynamics with her as your sister, those type of things, friction comes up fairly often, or enough to make you anxious that
Yes.
maybe the dynamics when the two of you together is she becomes more dominant, and because you're a laid back person and don't like friction, you take more of a back row role to that, just
Yeah.
because you want things to go harmoniously. Is that the right word?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly where it is.
Okay. I think that's good. That's a good place to stop there.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, good job. Just FYI, do you guys get that little thing? We only have 9 minutes left. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that you got the gist of what she was talking about. And I think that you did a really good job at inferring, and you said, frustrate, she's more uptight. Maybe this trip isn't going to be, or excuse me, that was what Marty was saying, but you said frustration is starting to come in. And you said what you had been looking forward to, now the dynamics have changed. Your excitement has turned to worry, loss of control. You nailed all of those things. And so I think you really did the advanced empathy there by understanding that stuff. My feedback would be you kind of said too much at the beginning, maybe, because Marty was saying yes, yeah, and she was trying to say yes, and then maybe as you said each thing, just see if she has it, pause for just a second. And I would say that would be the biggest thing, is just take a pause. And then, she said, yeah. And then, my sister's picking, and you said, so you want freedom without hurting feelings. Like, you were so good at really nailing, enough to make you anxious. She's more dominant than you are, and you're saying all these things, and Marty's saying yes. And just pause for a second and see if she wants to say something in between. Marty, how'd you feel?
I felt good. I felt like you really caught it, and like towards the end, that was more like you were saying, she's more dominating. She's the older sister, I'm the younger sister. I'm very used to kind of catering to her, but I also have a husband who's the oldest child, and trying to just be the peacemaker between them. And so, but that, it really hit the nail on the head when it was, I was just trying to,
Yeah.
So
You got it. Okay, number 3. Let me just get this ready. Okay, helpy is Cheryl, helper is Jen, and observer is Marty.
Okay, so I've had an ongoing situation. I'll give you a little history about it. We moved here a couple of years ago, and we were very excited because the LDS population is greater here than where we previously lived. And my daughter in particular was excited to be in a larger program for youth. But it turned out that the boundaries of the ward we were in is set up for an area called the Villages in Florida, which is all retirement people.
Oh.
So we walked into a ward with no youth.
Wow.
And that was pretty difficult. There's a lot of changes in our family dynamics, education, everything has changed. Everything, nothing except the fact that we're still a family is the same as where we came from.
Wow.
And my daughter was starting to, have struggles with that. And I was starting to have struggles with the atmosphere within our ward. It was very unwelcoming and sort of stifling. And so we made the decision to go to a ward that was not far from us either, but we were not in their boundaries. And we went there, and as soon as we walked in the door, we could really feel the spirit. It has the second largest youth program in Florida, and the changes in us and our feelings and everything were just, we went from the point of very close to becoming inactive to really loving being in church again.
That's great.
But the problem is, we changed, it'll be 2 years this November. Last November, I procrastinated because I was afraid of what would happen. But last November, we wrote, and not just I procrastinated, but the bishop of the other ward, our original ward, really was pushing us not to switch, not making it very easy for us. And last November, I wrote the letter to the First Presidency asking to be allowed to be members of this board. And it's now been almost a year, and the bishop and the president, the stake president, I'm not getting any response. You know, I keep asking how come it's taking so long, and all of us, you know, because we're not board members, we can't participate.
Oh,
We can't get a calling.
wow.
And so it's really starting to bother me. And then just recently, our temple recommend expired, and there's been a couple other instances too, and it expired in the end of September, end of August. And my husband and I are still diligently working on trying to getting our temple recommend back, and they have not made it easy for us, this board. And so there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, you've got one leg in one ward and one leg in another ward. Your expectations have changed 3 times. I mean, from where you moved, you thought you were coming to this, you know, great area for youth. Is your daughter, you know, and your daughter probably feels disappointed about it, but I can feel your just kind of uncertainty, because where do you belong?
If that's true, my daughter, I'm going to say ward names because I can't keep, otherwise everyone will get confused. The Brooksville ward that we're in now, the bishop and everybody in the young women's program have been fantastic. They have welcomed her. She's very much included and is able to do everything except hold the calling within it, but they find other ways to keep her involved.
So that is motivating for you to stay in that ward, and you want to stay in that ward, and you've done the things you were supposed to do. Like, you wrote the letter, you talked to the bishop, the stake president, and now you're just waiting. And that's got to be so frustrating, but a little scary to feel that unsure and not a part of something, you know, and now it's affecting other things, your temple recommend.
And I'm trying not to be resentful and angry, you know, because I don't want to feel that way towards my faith. I don't feel that way towards my church, towards the people in it. And it bothers me that I feel like I'm being pushed down that road, no matter how hard I try not to be like that, and to be patient, and to wait, and to hope that somebody has an understanding of the situation we're in. I mean, it's this Villages thing down in Florida, it's a very inclusive program, and it's all retirees, and they do everything together inside this Villages. There's all these activities, and it's huge. It's an incredible thing. You can look it up on the internet and read about it. But the flip side of it is we don't live there.
You're an outsider. Yeah.
And I'm not retired. I have children. I still have a child in high school. So it's difficult.
Our recording's up. We have to stop.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,